Have you ever wondered what it would be like to live in a city where the light of the gospel is hard to find? On the south coast of Massachusetts, in the town of Fairhaven, is a church that has stood empty for years. Once filled with worship, now it stands still. So God called our family out of North Carolina to the south coast of Massachusetts to take part in planting churches and reaching people for the gospel. What that meant is, as we would go and we would partner in planting churches, we would need another elder qualified man and his family to go with us to labor for the gospel. Little did I know that God was crafting a similar narrative in Donnie's life.
Been born and raised here in southern New England, and for the last 40 years have actually had the blessing of pastoring right here in the southern part of Massachusetts. I've come to that place in my life where I know that as the years come down to the end for ministry, that it's now time to pass the baton on to the next generation. So I feel very blessed to come alongside of Jesse and his wife Carrie, and then just to partner with them in the years ahead. This neighborhood sits in spiritual darkness. Within a 2-minute walk, there are 5,000 people and not one gospel-preaching church.
It's a beautiful town, but spiritually there's very little gospel presence, and that's why we're here. When I first saw this building, it was like God was saying, the gospel was once preached here, and it will be again.
So we began praying, asking God if He would use us to bring the gospel back to this church.
As pastors and friends, we both felt the same calling. God wants a church planted here to reach this city.
The Lord's given us a love for this town and for families we don't even know yet. We know that God can use His church to meet their spiritual needs.
Our vision is really simple. We want to plant a gospel-preaching church in this place where families can come and be part of God's original design for their life, and that is to be in community with Christians, changing their neighborhoods through the love and the gospel of Jesus Christ.
We believe this building can be a lighthouse for the gospel, where lives are changed and Jesus is known.
The New Testament models church partnership, and that's where you come in.
We're asking individuals and churches to partner with us to plant a gospel-preaching church here. We need to raise $550,000, $400,000 of which will go towards the purchase of the building, and $150,000 that will be used to make needed renovations to open the doors for gathering and for worship.
Every gift and every prayer matters. Together, we can bring hope to families that are waiting for the gospel.
We invite you to pray with us for Fairhaven and the people that God puts in our lives.
Will you prayerfully consider partnering with us to restore this church and to shine the light of the gospel in Fairhaven? We cannot wait to see what God has in store for this city.